In this video, we're going to go through on Henry Park Primary School 2024 Preliminary Examination, Mathematics Primary 6, Paper 2. Let's get started on the first question. So question number 1 says PQSU is and QRTU are rectangles where PQ is 12 centimeters, QU is 15 centimeters, and UP is 9 centimeters. So find the length of QR. That's what we see over here. So for this, we can actually have the area of the triangle, and then we can get the area of the QRTU to get the breadth as what you see over here. Okay, so I just want to say that triangle, wait. So basically, triangle QUS is half of rectangle. So area of triangle QS is half of rectangle, um, which is the QRTU. So in this case, let's get the area of triangle QUS, okay, which is equal to half times base times height. So half times base in this case is 12, and then times height is 9. Okay, so QUS, so I'm gonna put here as 12 centimeters like this, and then we're gonna put 9 centimeters here as well. Okay, 9 centimeters. Okay, so from here, let's use the calculator. Okay, why is my calculator here? Should be here. So my calculator, half times 12 times 9. This will give us 54 centimeter square. Okay, oops. Okay, so now we know that the area of triangle QUS is 54. That means the area of rectangle QRTU is basically 2 times the area of the triangle QUS, which means it's 2 times 54. So this will be 108. Let's double confirm. Multiply by 2 is equal to 108. Okay, then the last step is to just divide. So breadth, what is this length? Okay, QR, I guess QR is equal to area divide by UQ. And so I'm gonna write this here, and essentially we want to get the length times breadth. So breadth breadth is equal to area divided by length. Okay, so in this case over here. Okay, so that means QR is equal to area divided by UQ. So the area is essentially, how do I, okay, so area is basically 108. Okay, and then we divide it by the length, which is 15. Okay, so 108, and then we divide by 15. Okay, and the answer is 7.2 centimeters. So the answer is 7.2 over here. There you go. Okay, so that's about it. Let's move on to the next question. Question 2. The average of four whole numbers is 281. Two of the numbers are 371 and 109. What is the smallest difference between the remaining two numbers? Okay, so we're going to get the total of four numbers, right? Which is equal to 281 times 4. Okay, let's use our calculator. 281 multiplied by 4. This will give us 1124. Okay, so the remaining two numbers total is equal to 1124. All right, minus 371 minus 109. Okay, So minus 371 minus 109, and this will give us 644. 644. Okay, so what is the smallest difference between the remaining two numbers? Okay, and write down these two numbers over here. So the smallest difference between the remaining two numbers essentially is, like it can be very, very small, which in this case over here, you can start with like 6, right? So two possible. So smallest difference is basically smallest difference is having the number very close, right, to each other. So that means 644 divided by 2, right? So let's do that. 644 divided by 2, this will be 322. 322. So that means, right, uh, number, first number, right? First number, and then we have the second number as well. Okay, second number, and then we have the difference. Okay, in this case, like this. Okay, smallest difference, right? We want to get the smallest difference. Okay, so 322, right? 322 minus 322. Okay, difference is 0. Okay, so if we were to say 323, 323, and then this will be 321, right? That means the difference is 1. That's why you see over here. So, I mean, the smallest difference, to be honest, is just 0 lah. Yeah. So, or small is having the number to be the same, right? To be the same. Therefore, the smallest difference is 0, and the numbers are just 322 and 322. That's it. Okay, let's move on to next question. Question number 3. Okay, so it says here, Amy used 7 identical rhombus, right, to form figure A. Beth added 2 more such rhombuses to figure A to form figure B. The perimeter of figure A is 156 centimeters. Find the figure B, perimeter of figure B. So I think for this, you probably know that the figure itself will look something like this, lah, right? Over here. So this is like this, and then this is like this, right? So the whole thing is just one huge rectangle. That's what you see over here. So I'm just going to draw it out. Okay, so essentially we have this whole thing. Okay, so that means this will be okay, so rhombuses. Okay, so this will be 3 units, and then this will be 3 units as well. 3 units and 3 units. Okay, so in a way, the parameter of figure A. So that means figure A parameter in units is equal to 3 units times 4, which is 12 units. So 12 units is equal to 156. Okay, and then then we'll get 1 unit. 1 unit is equal to 156, and then we divide it by 12. Okay, let's see what's the answer. 156 divided by 12. This is 13. All right, so now we know this 1 unit. So this also is the same. So I'm going to draw out the rest for figure B. Okay, so the number of units for its length is 3 units. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5. Okay, so this will be 5 units as well, like this. So this is 5 units. Okay, so let's get the parameter for this. So figure A in units is 12 units. This one. Okay, and then figure B in units. Okay, let me just grab this. Okay, so this will be figure B. Parameter in units will be 3 units times 2 plus 5 units times 2 as well. Okay, all right. Okay, what would that equal to, so this will be 3 times 2 is 6 plus 10, so 16 units. Okay, so that means 16 units over here is equal to 16 times 13. Okay, let's see what's the answer. 208 centimeters. So the answer is 208 centimeters. Okay, let's move on to question number 4. So it says here a piece of paper in the shape of an isosceles triangle. PQR is folded along the dotted line as shown below. Find X. Okay, I think this person has drawn up for me, but it's okay, right? So 28 over here, I'm going to make it purple. So 28 degrees is also here as 28 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to write here 28 degrees. Okay, so you want to find X. All right, so at the same time, we also know that this is also 28 degrees. Okay, like this, 28 degrees. So that means this is also 28 degrees, right? That's what I see over here. So at the same time, this angle, I'm going to put this in a different color, light red, I guess, pink, right? Is the same as this. Okay, so two folded. Okay, this is what I don't like about when people draw for me, but basically this. Okay, so y and y, I'm gonna put two y's. Okay, whoops. Okay, so basically when you fold them up, this will create two of the same angles. So when folding, it will create two same angles. So I see over here, which is angle y. Okay, so in this case over here we have 180. So angle y is equal to 180 minus 98 minus 28. Okay, and what will this give us? So 180 minus 98 minus 28, and this will give us 54 degrees. Okay, so from here we can get this angle. So I'm gonna, okay lah, it is in black. So angle, gonna name this zag. So this is zag angle, zag, which is in black, right? Like this. Okay, so angle zag is equal to 180, right? Minus 54, minus 54, right? This will give us 72, right? So times 2, 108. So 180 minus 108, this will give us 72, right? Degrees. Okay, so z is 172 degrees. So angle x is equal to 180 minus 72 minus 28. And this will give us, so 180 minus 72 minus 28 minus 28, this will give us 80 degrees. All right, so the answer to this question is 80 degrees. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 5. Okay, so Danny and Eric started jogging from point A, right? Point A to point B. Okay, so both did not change the speeds throughout. So after 20 minutes, okay, 20 minutes, then that means Danny was 200 meters behind Eric. So I would say 200-meter gap. That's what I see over here. Okay, so when Eric completed the remaining distance of 5 kilometers, right, Danny was 600 meters away from point B. Okay, so in essence, right, it is also 600-meter gap, right, something like this, right? So what was Danny's jogging speed? Okay, so first thing is that from 200-meter gap to 600-meter gap, the difference is in a way we have 400-meter gap lah, 400-meter gap difference. Okay, and we know that 200-meter gap is 20 minutes, right? So 20 minutes is equal to, so 200-meter gap is equal to 20 minutes. So 400-meter gap is equal to 400 divided by 200 times 20. This will give us, so basically 40 minutes. 40 minutes. So that means for 400 meter gap difference, the 5 km is 40 minutes. So that means Danny, the faster one, right? Or Eric, sorry, Eric. So Eric, in this sense over here, oh, sorry, speed is equal to, in this case, 5k, so 5 kilometers is equal to 5,000 meters. Okay, so because we need to have meters per minute. So Eric's speed over here is 5,000, and then we divide it by 40 minutes. Okay, right. So that means this will become, what is this? 5,000 meters. Let's use the calculator. 4,000 divided by 40, 125. 125 meters per minute. So in 20 minutes, which is what we want over here. Okay, so Eric distance in 20 minutes is equal to 125 meters per minute. Okay, speed times times, all right? Speed times time. Okay, times 20 minutes. This will then give us, so 125 times 20, 2,500 meters. Okay, so from here, we know that we have a 200 meter gap. So Danny, right? Yes, Danny distance in 20 minutes is equal to 2,500 minus 200, which is equal to 2,300 meters. And then for that, Danny speed is equal to 2,300 meters divided by 20 minutes, right? So you see 20 minutes, and then let's see if we can get the answer. Divided by 20, this will give us 115 meters per minute. So that's the answer, 115. There you go. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 6. So at first, Jason had $210 and Ruth had 154. After they both spent an equal amount of money, the amount of money Jason and Ruth each had left were in the ratio 7:3. How much did each of them spend? Okay, so we know that they have spent the same, and then at the same time, we also know that they have a ratio after they spend, which is 7:3, right? So we have 1, okay, and then we have 2, okay, and then we have 3. So 3 over here, 3 over here, okay, and then we also have another 3 and 7 units like this, okay. So that means in total for Jason, we have $210, and then this one we have what do you call this, $15 154. Okay, so this is what we call constant difference. Okay, because concept oops concept, because over here we spend the same, right? So there isn't much of a difference after we have we have spent. Okay, so in this case we can get the total units. So 4 units is equal to 210 minus 154. This will give us 210 minus 154. This will give $56. 56. Okay, so 1 unit is equal to 56 divided by 4. Okay, and what would this give us? 14, right? $14. So we know that this is $14. So then we know, then we can calculate spent is equal to 154 minus 14 times 3. Okay, because there you go, 1 unit is 14, right? So 154 minus 14 times 3. Wait, times 3. And this will give us $112. Okay, that's it. So the answer is $112. Okay, so we spend $112 over here. All right. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Question 7. So it says here the graph below shows the number of muffins baked bakery sold each month from May to December. Find the average number of muffins sold per month from May to August. Okay, so we want to calculate the number of muffins sold. So let's calculate the number of gaps. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have, all right, here lah, 5 gaps is equal to 150. That's the first number. So one gap is equal to 150, and then we divide it by 5, and this will give us 30. Okay, so now we can just calculate from May to August how many they have. So 750. So May will be 720, right? So for June, June will be 600. Okay, June is 600. So we need to calculate into August. July will be 570. 570. Yep, 570. And then August, so August will be 420. Right, so 420. Right, so now we can get the average. So total from May to August is equal to, for this will be 720 plus 600 plus 570 plus 420. Okay, and let's use the calculator, which is basically 720 plus 600 plus 570 plus 420. Okay, this will give us 2310, right? So then we'll get the average. So the average over here is equal to 2310 divided by 4, which is 4 months, right? Now we can just divide by 4. This will be 577.5. 577.5. So that's the average amount. Okay, there you go. All right, let's move on to part B. Based on the number of muffins sold from October to December, the bakery wants to increase the number of muffins sold by 30% in the first 3 months of next year. What's the targeted total number of muffins to be sold in the first 3 months of next year? Okay, so from October to December. Okay, so let's calculate October. October is 330, right over here. 330 for October. November is 270. And then December is 150. 150. Okay, so that means we need to calculate the total. Okay, so and we want to increase the number so in the first 3 months of next year. Okay, so we can just get a total from from October to December, which is equal to 330 plus 270 plus 150. Okay, and this will be equal to 30 plus 270 plus 150. This will give us 750. Okay, so targeted one. so uh so for the first 3 months, so basically um target of 30 plus 30% more is basically equal to 750, right, times 130%. Okay, so let's do that. Times 130%, 975. Right, there you go. That's the answer. So 975 muffins. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Question 8a. So 4 children received their scores for a quiz. Ariel scored 8x points. Bella scored 12 more points than Ariel. The number of points Bella scored was half the number of points Charlene scored, and Daryl scored 7 points. Damn! Complete the table below to show the number of points Bella and Charlie each scored. The number of points Ariel and Daryl scored has been filled in for you. Give your answers in terms of x, right? Eat x. So x can be 1 also, right? Yeah. Okay, so for Bella scored 12 more points than Ariel. So that means 8x plus 12. The number of points Bella scored was half the number of scored for Charlene. So that means it's 2 times of this. So Charlene is equal to 2 times of 8x plus 12. Okay, So in this case, it will be 16x plus 24. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer to this question, 16x plus 24. So essentially, if you want to break down what this is, okay, this is basically 2 times 8x plus 2 times 12. That's it. And that's why you get Charlie like this. Okay, let's move on to part B. Find the total score of 4 children when x is 15. Okay, so total score in terms of x is equal to 8x plus 8x plus 12 plus 16x plus 24 plus 7. Okay, so if you calculate 16, so 32x plus 12 plus 24 plus 7, 12 plus 24 plus 7, 43. Okay, so total score will be 32 times 15 plus 43. Okay, so plus 32 times 15, 523. And that's the answer, 523. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 9. Janice drew and shaded a large semicircle and a small semicircle on a rectangular piece of paper of length 24 centimeters. Okay, the diameter of the large semicircle is twice that of the semicircle. Find the total unit. Okay, so that means this over here is 2 units and this here is 1 unit. Okay, so 1 unit. Okay, so from here, the diameter. Okay, so that means 3 units is equal to 24 centimeters. Then 1 unit is equal to 24, and we divide it by 3. This will give us 8 centimeters. Okay, so the total area shaded. So big semicircle semicircle area, okay, is equal to half times 2 times pi times radius, 2 pi r. Area, right? Oh, sorry, pi r square. So it's pi times radius times radius. Okay, so big semicircle radius is equal to 2 units divided by, so it's 2 times 8 divided by 2, which is 8. So this is radius. Okay, so that means half times pi is 3.14 times 3.14 times radius is 8 times radius 8. Okay, let's see what's the answer. Half times 3.14 times 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. Okay, this is 100.48. Okay, so now we want to get a small circle radius, which is 1 unit. So that means small semicircle radius is 1 times 8 divided by 2. This will give us 4 centimeters. Okay, 4 cm, this 4 cm. This is centimeter square. Okay, so for small semicircle, it's basically half times pi times radius, which is basically 4 times 4. Okay, so half 3.14, okay, times 4 times 4, 524 divided by 2, 25.12. 25.12 centimeter square. Okay, so I just want to double check with this over here. 3.14 times 8 times 8 divided by 2. Okay, great. So now we know the semicircle. So we want the unshaded part. So we also want to get the rectangle. So over here, Since this is also the radius, then this is also the radius. Okay, so I'm gonna write down radius, radius, and radius as well, like this. Okay, so that means for this, this will be the breadth. Okay, so breadth, I think I'm gonna put here, right? So length times breadth of rectangle is equal to radius, big semicircle radius, okay, plus, oops, plus small semicircle radius as well, which is equal to, oops, which is equal to 8 plus 4, 12. Okay, so in this case over here, this is 12 centimeters. Okay, so it's just basically half lah, right? Because radius is just half of the diameter. So that means area of rectangle is equal to 24. So length times breadth is equal to 24 times 12, which is equal to, okay, let's see, 24 times 12, 288, 288. So unshaded area, shaded area is equal to 288 minus 148 minus 25.12. Okay, and let's see what's the answer. Minus 10.48 minus 25.12, 162.4 centimeter square. Square, there you go. So that's the answer. 162.4 centimeters square. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 10. It says here, boxes A and B contain an equal number of coins. 1/4 of the coins in box A are 10 cents, while the rest are 50 cents. 1/3 of the coins in box A are 10 cents, while the rest are 20 and 50 cents, 50-cent coins. So part A says, given that total value of all the coins in box A is $86.40, find the total number of coins in box B. So in a way, this is like a grouping concept in a sense over here. Okay, so that means on number X value also can now, right? So 1/4, so 1/4 coins is box A. Sorry, 1/4 coins in box A is equal to 10 cents, right? Okay, so 10 cents. Okay. Okay, so over here, what kind of word is cents, right? Like this. So let's convert. 1/4 coins in box is 10 cents. So 10 cents is 1/4. Let me put the arrow. Oops. Okay, in box A. Okay, what about 50 cents? 50 cents will be 1 minus 1/4, which is 3/4 of coins box A as well. Okay, so convert fraction to units. So 10 cent is 1 unit, then 50 cents is, right arrow, 3 units. Okay, so in this case over here, actually for this, we don't need to convert the fractions to this. So one group essentially has 10, so 1 times 10 cent coin, and then plus 1 times or 3 times 50 cent coins. So you see, so one group value is equal to 1 times 10 cent plus this equal to so this $10, so 160 cents or dollars 160. Okay, so okay, that means let me just make this a so I'm gonna put a line here. Okay, so number of groups is equal to 86.4 86.40 divided by 1.60. Okay, so oops, let's use the calculator. 86.40 86.4 divided by 1.6, this will give you 54 groups. Okay, so now I would say, right, one group, so which is equal to 4 coins. So total coins equal to 54 times 4, which is equal to times 4, 216 coins. Okay, so that's the answer, 216 coins. There you go. All right, let's move on to the next question, part B. Okay, so how we do this is basically we know the number of coins over here, and we know one third of coins in box B is 10-cent coins, right? So 10 cents. Okay, so from here, number of coins in box B that's 10 cent is equal to one third times 216. Okay, and actually, oh yeah, still need to say, so divide by 3, this will give you 72 coins, right? Okay, number of coins, okay, so total 10-cent value in box B is equal to 72 times 10 cents. Okay, and this will give you 720 cents or dollars 7.20. Okay, so that means 20 cents and 50 cents. So total 20 cents and 50 cents value in box B is equal to 50.10 minus 7.2. Okay, let's calculate 50.1 minus 7.2. This will give us $42.90. Okay, so then we can use the assumption method over here. So assumption method, okay, is a better guess and check. So from here, we know that there's $42.90. Okay, at the same time, we also know that number of coins we haven't calculated, but it's 20 cents, 50 cents, which is basically equal to 216 minus 72. Okay, 216 minus 72 is equal to 144. 144. Okay, so assumption method. So for this step 1, assume, so we want to calculate what coins? 20 cents. Assume all coins is 50 cents, right? 50 cents. Okay, so basically 144 times 50 cents, right? Okay, is equal to times 50. Okay, 72 divided by 100. Okay, it's equal to dollars 72. Okay, or 7200 cents, right? Or equal to this. Okay, so now we assume all coins in this. So step 2, let me draw a line over here. Okay, so next step, step number 2. Okay, So once we assume all coins is 50 cents, the next one is we want to get the difference. Okay, so difference. Okay, so total difference is equal to 72 minus 50.10, okay, which is equal to minus 50.1 is equal to 20. Oh, sorry, 42. No, not this. Sorry, $42.90. 42.90. Okay, so 72 minus 42.9, and this will give you $29.10. Okay, and also value difference is equal to 50 minus 20 is equal to 30 cents. Oops, okay, I'm just gonna write cents, right? All equal to dollars 0.30 cents. Okay, and then step 4, right? You just divide. So divide, which will get number of 20 cents coins is equal to 29.10 divided by 0.30. Okay, and what would this give us? Divided by 0.3, this will give us 97 coins. So the answer to this is 97. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 11. Store-wide closing down sale. First item at 40% discount. Second item at 50% discount. Price of second item should be equal to or lower than the price of first item. Mary and Gary each bought 2 items at the store during the sale. So part A, Mary bought 2 different bags. The original price of one of the bags was $280, while the original price of the other bag was $499. How much did she pay in total for both bags? Okay, so first item is $499. Okay, second item is equal to $280. Okay, so this is because second item must be lower or equal to first item. Okay, so now we know that. Okay, now we can just get the how much she pay in total, right? So first item discounted discounted price is equal to, so 40% discount, 499 times bracket 100 minus 40%, okay, which is essentially 60%. Okay, so 499 times 60%, $299.40, right? Over here. Okay, so let's move to the second one. So second item discounted price is 50%. Okay, so this will be 50 and the price is 280. So this is just half. Basically, it should be $140. Okay, so yeah. Then the total, I think I can get the total. So total is equal to 299.40 plus 140, which is equal to plus 140, $439.40, 439.40, and that's the answer. Okay, so that's it. Let's move to the next question, part B. After discount, Gary spent 1669.80 on 2 identical watches. Find the price of each identical watch before the discount. Oh, he spent. Okay. Right. So in this case over here, right, Gary spent basically 1669.80. Okay, so that means on 2 watches, right, the price, so first item percent, first item percent paid should be 100 minus 40, which is 60%, right? 60%. Second item percent paid is, yeah, second item percent paid is 100 minus 50, right? So that means this 50%. So 50%. Okay, so that means total percent paid is equal to 60 plus 50 equal to 110%. 110% is equal to the price of 166980. Okay, then you can just put as 110% is equal to, okay, not 10%, 100%, which is basically 1669.80 divided by 0 divided by 110 times 100. Okay, so let's see. Very cheap. Let me double confirm. 40%, right? Okay. So for this will be 1669.80 and then divided by 110 times 100. 1015, this one. So this is the answer. $518. Okay, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question 12. Shops Q, R, and S sell ice cream in two sizes, small tubs and big tubs. A small tub of ice cream is sold for $20. Big tub is $18. The table below shows the tubs of ice cream sold by each shop. The number of tubs of ice cream sold is by ink blots. What is the total amount of money collected by Q and R from the sale of the small and big tubs? Okay, so shop Q is equal to, so I want to write this as well because I don't want to refer to the question. So small is equal to $12, and then big is equal to $18. Okay, so shop Q is basically 15 small times 12 plus 9 big, right? So 9 times 18. Okay, right. So this, let's use our calculator. So 15 times 12 plus 9 times 18. Oops, times 18. This will be $342. So shop R is equal to 10 times 12 plus 15 times 18. Big, okay. So this will be 120 plus 15 times 18. Okay, this will be $390. So total will be 342 plus 390. Okay, so plus 342, $732. $732. So that's the answer. $732. Okay, so let's go to part B. Shop S sold as many tubs as ice cream as Shop Q, but collected $66 more. How many small tubs of ice cream did Shop S sell? Okay, so Shop S sold as many tubs as Shop Q. So Shop Q over here. So Shop Q total tubs is equal to 9 plus 15. 9 plus 15, which is equal to 24. Okay, but so that's shows shop S also got 24, but shop Q collected $66 more. So shop, wait, so shop S is equal to shop Q, Q minus $6.66. So that means it's equal to, so what is shop Q? Likely I separate them. If not, the, okay, 342 minus dollars 66. Okay, so 342 minus 66. This will give us dollars 276 over here. Okay, so once we get the total, right, so we can do an assumption method. Okay, right, so same thing, right, that's what we've done before. So we want to get small tubs. So assume, so step one, assume, so we get small tub, assume all tubs are big. So that means total, so assumed value is equal to So one big one is $18. So 24 times 18. Okay, let's do that. Whoops. Let me cancel this. 24 times 18. This will give us dollars 432. Step 2, okay, is the difference. So total difference is equal to 27432 234 minus 18. Okay. Okay. Minus 276, which is equal to, so minus 276 156 dollars 156, and then value difference is basically the 18 minus 12. Okay, so I'm just going to put here 18 minus 12, which is equal to dollars 6. Okay, and then lastly we just divide. Okay, and step 3, we just divide, which means number of small tubs small tubs is equal to 156 divided by 6. Okay, and let's see how much we can get. 26. So therefore, wait, sorry, 156. Okay, my bad. So it's actually plus, so shop S but collected $66 more. So this should be plus 66 instead of this. Right, so 342 plus 66, that's already different. Okay, so 342 plus 66 will be 408. Okay, so always like double check. I do make mistakes as well. So in this case, we have 432 408. Okay, so 432 minus 408, this will give us 24. Okay, now this makes more sense because 26 is more than 24. Huh? So for this is 24 divided by 6, this will become 4. So that's your answer. The answer is 4 over here. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 13. So the printing rates of three machines A, B, and C are shown below. 360 per hour, 180 per hour, 230 per hour. At 11 o'clock, Gwen started to print posters using only machine A. Half an hour later, while machine A continued printing, she started printing posters with machine B and C as well. How long would machine B and C take to print the same number of posters as machine A? Express your answers in hours and minutes. So first, for machine A, for 1 hour, okay, is 360 posters. So half an hour, right, is equal to 360, and then we divide it by 2, or times half also can, right? Times half. Okay, either way works. This will then become 180 copies. Okay, so basically, machine A has printed 180 copies. Okay, then after that, we have machine B and machine C. So machine B plus C rates, right, is equal to 180 plus 230. Okay, you can use the calculator. 180 plus 230. This will give you 410 posters per hour, right? So we have posters. Okay, so then we will need to find the difference. Okay, so for every hour, machine B and C, machine B and C, machine B plus C will print will print more than machine A. Okay, so we need to get the difference. So difference in rate is equal to 410 minus 360 is equal to 50 posters per hour. Okay, so that means machine B plus C Uh, so every hour, machine B plus C will print 50 posters more than machine A. That's what we see over here. Alright, so for every hour, machine B plus C will print 50. So how long will they need to print the B plus C? We need to print the 180 extra posters. So that means which is basically time to which is which also means the time they are able to print the same amount. Okay, so that means 180 divided by 50, right? So time machine B plus C able to print the same amount as machine A is equal to 180 divided by 50. Okay, so in this case it will be, so let's put 180 divided by 50. This will be 3.6 hours. So 0.6 hours is equal to 60 times 0.6, which is equal to 36 minutes. 36 minutes. So 3.6 hours is equal to 3 hours and 36 minutes. So this is the answer. Alright, that's it. Okay, which also means... Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 14 over here. Figure X shows a rectangular block of wood, length 78 centimeters and the breadth 39 centimeters. From the block of wood, Kevin cut out a stand with identical steps on both sides as shown in figure Y. Each step measures 6 centimeters in height and 9 centimeters in length. What is the height of the original wood? Okay, so we have the original wood over here and we can measure now, right? We have 6, 6, 6, and 6. So there is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 steps. Okay, so there are 4 steps and 1 step height is 6 centimeters. So 4 steps height is equal to 6 times 4, which is equal to 24 centimeters. So 4 steps for the height of the block, which is this. Okay, so the answer to this is 24 centimeters. Alright, so part B over here, find the volume of block of wood used for figure Y. So blocks used at one side over here. So you see that the first one is okay, but second step over here, you use one, third step and fourth step. So from here, I just draw it out as what you see over here, right? Okay, actually no need to have this, but yeah, second, third, fourth step. So total blocks used at one side, which will become 3 plus 2 plus 1 equal to 6 blocks. Okay, and then total blocks used at two sides, okay, which is basically equal to 6 times 2 equal to 12. Okay, and then we can get one volume. So volume of one block is equal to length times breadth times height. So in this case, the length is 9. So 9 times, this is 39 times 6. Okay, 39 times 6. Okay, and this is equal to 9 times 39 times 6, 210, 6 centimeter cube. Okay, so that means volume of 12 blocks is equal to 12 times 2106. Right, so you multiply this by 12. Okay, this will be 25,272. 25,000 uh 25,000 two oops 272. So now we know the volume of the 12 blocks. We also need to know the volume of the figure X. Okay, so volume of figure X is equal to 78 times 39. So length and breadth times height. Okay, so the length is 78. 78 times 39 times 24. Okay, and this will give us, so 78 times 39 times 24, and this will give us 73,000 and 8. 73,008. So block used is equal to 73,008 minus 25,272, which is equal to minus 25,272, 47736. Okay, so 47736. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer. So this will be centimeter cube. So we use this much. Okay, so let's move to the next question. Question 15. In the figure, ACDE is a rectangle, CDF is an equilateral triangle. So C, D, and F is an equilateral triangle, right? Like this. And then after that, ABE is an isosceles. They already mark it out. So BCA is 15 degrees. AFD, this is F, I assume, is 170, right? And then AB is parallel to FC. So I see over here. Okay, so find AFC. So I'm gonna put F over here like this. So A, F, and C. So I'm gonna draw this red so at least I know what I'm looking at. Okay, and then we have 170 degrees over here. Okay, so from here to get AFC, what I think I need to do is to get this angle, right? So maybe I'll put this in blue. So if I can get CFD, I can get AFC, and then yeah, I can. So that means I also need to know this angle as well. Wait, AFC is basically 60, right? 60 degrees. Okay, so in this case, so what I can do is I can right angle CFD is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, so angle of equilateral triangle. So that means angle AFC is equal to 360 minus 170 minus 60. Okay, and this will give you 30. No. 130 if I'm not wrong. 360 minus 170 minus 60. This will give you 130 degrees. All right, so yep, that's the answer, 130 degrees. Okay, let's move to the next part, part B. Find AEB. Okay, so how we're going to do this is basically we get this angle, right? Basically, we need to figure out this angle. Okay, first, what we can do is over here, right? We have 90 degrees. I'm going to put this red to cover this. This is 90. So ACF, right? So angle, angle ACF is equal to 90 minus 60. Okay, this will be 30 degrees. So I see over here. Okay, so we know that this is 30, right? I'm gonna make this black, right? Why? Because this angle over here, this one, is also 60 degrees. Okay, that's why this is 30. So we can get CAF, right? So this one, Okay, angle, whoops, right, angle CAF is equal to 180 minus, so we have 130 minus 30 to get this angle. So 130 minus 30, which is equal to 20 degrees. Yep, degrees. So it's over here. So this one will be 20 degrees. So it's over here. And then we also know that this is 90 as well. I'm gonna put this red over here. Okay, so we know this is 90. So at the same time, right, we also can get this one color. This one also, we can get this, right, over here. So BAF. Okay, BAF, because for 130 and these are parallel, right? So BAF, so angle, right, CAF, now BAF is equal to 130 minus 180 minus 130. So 180 minus 130, okay, this will give us 50 degrees. 50 degrees, like this, over here. Okay, like this. So this 50 degrees. So we can get, I'm going to get green. So now we can get this, maybe another color, the pink one. Okay, so BAC. Yeah. So BAC is equal to, in this case, 50 minus 30. 50 minus 30 is equal to 20 degrees. Right? Okay, oops. 20 degrees. Right? So now this one, 20 degrees. Right? So now we can get the angle over here because we know this 20 and this is 90. So angle AEB is equal to 180 minus 20 minus 90, and then we divide this by 2. Okay, so divide by 2, right? And what will this give us? 110, this will give us 35 degrees. So let's see over here. Okay, there you go. So the answer is 35 degrees. Okay, let's move to part C. Circle the words that describe ABCF correctly in the following statement. ABCF is or is not a parallelogram because AF is not parallel to BC. Okay, so over here, we can actually calculate this part over here. So 180 minus 30 minus 15. Okay, 180 minus 30 minus 15. So angle ABC. So angle ABC is equal to 180 minus minus 30 minus 15. 45 is equal to 135 degrees. Right? So let's double check. The minus 15, and this will give us 135. Okay, so over here is, we put this on, right, 35 degrees. So since angle ABC, right, is not equal to, actually, yeah, actually both not equal also lah, but yeah, ABC is not equal to AFC. See, that means it's not a parallelogram. Oh, okay, I spelled correctly. Okay, like this. All right, so I'm gonna write it down here. And like this. So it's not parallelogram. So I'm gonna circle this. It's not. Okay, maybe my circle is a bit too big. It's not. And it's not parallel. So F is not parallel to BC. Let me circle again. I really want to circle very nicely. Wow, very nice. Okay, so both is not. Okay, so yep, there we go. Let's move to the next question. Question 16. Okay, so Joanne completely packed 2 types of boxes, large and small, with identical bottles of oil. After she packed 14 large boxes and 18 small boxes completely with 1,914 bottles of oil, she had some bottles remaining. She could not completely pack another large box with the remaining bottles as she was short of 15 bottles. Instead, she completely packed another small box and had 12 bottles left. How many bottles did Joanne have? Okay, so what I'm going to do is that I'm going to have large and then small. So I'm just going to visualize this a bit easier to see. So we know that the remaining is the same, right? So we have this and we have this. Okay, so the remaining, so I'm going to put an arrow to say this is the remaining. Okay, so we know that the large and small is different. Okay, for cause the small can carry a certain amount of bottles. So for the large itself, it was short of 15. Okay, so we're gonna write here 15. And then for the small one, uh, she has an excess of 12. So we're gonna write here as maybe here as 12, like this over here. Okay, like this 12. Okay, so in this case over here, we know that the large capacity is more than the small. And if I were to put a line over here, maybe a dotted line like this, okay, maybe not like that. So that means the large can carry more than what do you call this out. So this one is excess 15 lah. So for this is bottles left. Okay, so that means large can carry, right? So if I were to just put it here, this will be this, and this will be this. Wait, this one be like this instead. So that means this short. Okay, short of 15. Okay, all right. So that means large can carry 12 plus 15 more than small. Okay, 12 plus 15 over here. So that means difference is equal to 12 plus 15 equal to 27. So that means large can carry 27 more, right? So with that said, the next thing is then we will, since large and small has a difference of 27, that means we can have this, right? So 14, so one large box difference is equal to 27. Then how many large boxes? 14. Large boxes difference, okay, is equal to 27 times 14. Okay, let's see what's the answer. 27 times 14, 378. Okay, all right, so now we know that there are 378. All right, so after this, once we know the large boxes difference, we can get like 1 unit, right? So 1 unit for large box and 1 unit for small box. That's what you see over here. Okay, so that means we first need to get total number of boxes is equal to 14 plus 18, right? 14 plus 18 equal to 32. So in a way, 32, right, units, right, is equal to basically 1914 minus 378. Okay, not 478, 378. Okay, so 1914 minus 378, this will give us 1536. Okay, so that means 1 unit, okay, is equal to 1536 divided by 32. Okay, so 1536 divided by 32, and this will give us 48. So 1 unit over here can contain 48. So we know the remaining is either 1 unit plus 12, right? So remaining, right? Say how many bottles did Joanne have? So remaining bottles is equal to 1 unit, which is 48, plus 12 is equal to 60, right? Okay, so from here, total bottles, total bottles is equal to, in this case, 1914. Okay, 1914 plus the remaining 60, which will give you 1974. Okay, and that's your answer, 1974. All right, let's move on to the last question, question 17. So it says here, Jaya used gray and white squares to form the figure that follow pattern as shown below. Okay, let's see the patterns over here. Right, I think for this 4 and 8. Okay, so over here, let me just, okay, I will just put the plus sign, right? So 5 to 8 is 3, and then 8 plus to 13 is 5, and then 20, 13 to 20 is 7. Okay, so for this 4, 8, 12, 16, okay, this one is just multiples of 4. Okay, so 4, 8, 12, 16, then the next one is 20. Okay, pretty straightforward. This one, nothing new. Right, for the number of gray square is a bit different. Right, 5 plus 8, so 3, 5, 7. That's what I see over here. Okay, so from here, yeah, what do you think the next one will be for this? So instead of plus 7, this will be plus 9. So 20 will be 29. Okay, that's what I see over here. All right, so the total is just add together. This will be 49, like this. All right. Okay, so now let's move on to part B. Jaya used 1004 white squares to form a figure. What was the total number of white squares used for the figure over here? Okay, so in a way, we know this number of white squares over here. 1 times 4, 2 times 4, 3 times 4, 4 times 4. Okay, so this one pretty straightforward. So number of squares, we need to figure this out, right? So in essence, from 3 to 5 to 7 to 9, essentially in between, right? The pluses is already basically, let me just put the thing here. So figure 1 is equal to 5, figure 2 is equal to 8, right? 8, which is equal to 5 plus 3. Okay, then figure 3 will be 13. Okay, which is basically 5 plus 5 plus 3. Let's see if this works. Okay, this is what, 13, right? Okay, then this is figure 3. Okay, then figure 4. Okay, sadly, it's not like that. Lah. So figure 4 is 20. So from here, so this will be 5 plus 3. So 8 to 15 is 5 plus 3, which is 8 plus 5, right? So 20 is everything here, 5 plus 3 plus 5. And then plus, so 5 let's say 13 is 7. Okay, I'm missing something over here. Okay, so over here, I think I figured it out. Okay, so it's not this per se. So there's another pattern that we can do over here, which is basically, okay, let me just put it here. So in this case, so basically this is the answer, which is this. So 2 times 2 times 4, 3 times 3 times 4. So in this case, 4 is the common number, which is also a bit hard to see in this case over here. So figure n, it should be equal to n times n plus 4. That's about it. Okay, so this is for number of white squares over here, like this. Hey, sorry, this is for gray squares. Okay, this gray squares. Right. Okay, so gray squares is this. Right. So for B, 1004. So at the same time, yeah, I'll do the what is the white squares. So white squares, white squares will be figure 1 is equal to 1 times 4, right? So just uh 1 times 4, then 2 times 4, right? Okay, I'm just gonna do this. So 2 times 4. Okay, so I think figure n is probably very straightforward. Figure n is equal to n times 4. Okay, all right. So with that said, let's move to this Jayus. Okay, so figure for 1004 white squares is equal to 1004 divided by 4. Okay, so let's do that. 1004 divided by 4 is 251. 251. Okay, so number of gray squares is equal to, so in this case it's just figure n times n plus 4. Okay, so 251 times 251 plus 4. Okay, so times 251 plus 4. 63,005. 63,005. So now total is equal to 63,005. Okay, plus 251. Wait, sorry, not 251, 1004. Okay, plus 1004, 64009. Okay, can I copy this? Yes. Yes, I can copy this. Oh no. Okay, copy this. Right, there you go. So that's your answer. 64,009. In the table above, the difference between the total number of squares used in figure X and figure Y is 497. Find the value of Y. So difference between the total number of squares used. Okay, so difference between, or the total number of squares used. So for this is 497. All right, so for part C in the table above, the difference between the total number of squares used in figure X and figure Y is 497. Find the value of Y. Okay, so these two are side by side. So I've calculated the difference. So from 9 to 16 is negative 7, 16 to 25 is negative 9, and 25 to 36 negative 11. So if I were to put into like a pattern, it will look something like this, right? So 9 is basically 7 plus 2, 11 is 7 plus 2 plus 2, and then this should be 13 as well. Okay, so from that, that means in this case over here, figure n plus 1 minus figure n is equal to 7 plus 2 times n minus 1, right? That's what you see over here. Okay, so now we know that the difference is 497, so we can just write 497 is equal to 7 plus 2 times n minus 1, right? Minus 1. So if we were to just add, have this 497, it's equal to 7 plus 2n minus 2. Oops. Minus 2n minus 2, right? So this would then become 497. Oops. Okay, is equal to 2n plus 5. 7 plus minus 2 is 5 plus 2n. Okay, and then 497, oops, 97 minus, okay, 2n is equal to 497 minus 5, which is equal to 492. Then n is equal to 492 divided by 2. This will give us 492 divided by 2, 246. Okay, so in this case, what is figure X and what is figure Y? So figure Y is the bigger number. So figure Y is equal to 246 plus 1 equal to 247. Okay, and the answer is 247. All right, that's it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what other things you want me to show you next. See you in the next one. Bye bye.